I have taken $4 to $15,000, $40 to $40,000, and in this video I'll be showing you how to take $3 to $23,000. And I dropped the setup for the sell, and I called the buy that I'm even going to explain in this video in the VIPs. So you want to start buying, but see guys, don't just go and be buying. Instead, you want to do something else, because it's not about the, like, if you can't stack a lot, you will blow this your smart account before you even make profit. So what you want to do is you want to go to HTF time frame and then carry your horizontal tool. This is very important. You want to take out your horizontal tool and then mark that point here. And if you look at that point there, something magical happen. Price have been retested 1, 2, 3, 4 times around that point. It's crazy. Like, this is literally a key level. Key levels hold, like they are unshakable, they are unstoppable. Whenever you get a key level, you should just know that it's about to get down. But using only a key level wouldn't really make you profit, because there are a lot of key levels in the market that does hold, and the price does not care if it is a sniper entry, if your key level is wide, if your key level is floatable. It only cares about the quality and the confirmation backing up your key level. So what confirmation should you use to back up your key level? One, it is a fair value gap here. You can see there was a large fair value gap. Like, guy, that news that spiked, is it on this thing? It literally brutalized a lot of people's stop loss. That's what caused that spike there, and I was even in huge loss, as you can see. That spike was crazy, and even below it there was even another fair value gap. The fair value gap and imbalances are the same thing. They are just space or gap between two candles that price needs to come back to respect. And if you look carefully, I was expecting price to buy from that point, but why would price buy from this point? Like, why should price go up from this point? I'm going to show you why. Because if you look carefully, you can see price was going down. So why would he respect this line? Even if it is a key level, why should he respect it? He can just go back, break below it, and then liquidate me. And that's when you go up from 15 minutes to H4 time frame for confirmation. So you take out your tool, and then firstly you want to mark that your H4 zone before going down to lower time frame. That H4 zone, if you look at it on 1 day time frame, you can see price was literally rejecting from also a demand zone. You can see that demand zone was perfectly aligned without my entry there. You can see there was even a break of structure. Whenever there's a break of structure, just know that it is about to go down. And even price was going down and then bounced up and then retested again. If you look carefully, you can see there was a bounce down and then went up and then retested at that 50% of that tiny 1 day demand zone. That is another confluence. It is backed up by 2 demand zone there at 50% of that point there, which is crazy. So this is literally at the tiny of the tiniest point. Does that rhyme? The tiny of the tiniest point, not to talk of that strong support zone. And if you look carefully, you can see price was aggressively spiking up. Like, this is happening live, very fast, very fast. So I marked that point there. I was expecting price to get to that point, and then I'll decide to close. And it's from this moment in time that you have to make a decision to be greedy or to just target that point there and then close. Like, wait for price to get to that high and then close, or just target that huge fair value gap to flip your account. Like, if you leverage very well, you can flip your account to like $500 on just this one trade based on how you leverage. I've done it before. Or you can just say, damn, I'm just gonna close early. Like, if you look at this trade, you can see we still have a long way to go. You know, but as someone who has a lot of experience, I've noticed that a greedy man doesn't see the next day. You need to chop, get out, chop again, get out. Not trying to make like huge this thing in one trade. You need to play the long game, because guy, if you can get the beginning, your life will change. As soon as I spotted that supply zone on USD card, I knew it was game on, so I sold. But if you look carefully, you can see that to your left there was something like a block here. Like, the other ones were weak, but you can see that block there. I marked it because I knew price was going to drop talking from experience. And if you look at that point there was liquidity high around that point, and price took it out. And also there was demand zones, like two demand zones here. Like price was literally pushing up in get to that resistance zone there, and then spiked up to take it out. And what are you looking for? You are looking to, ride the sales, like just go crazy and bag a lot of profit, because it is the beginning that is much more important. So around this point there, I was looking for more confirmation, because I always have a rule to stick to 5 confirmation. And if you look carefully, you can see there was liquidity around that point. If you don't stick to 5 confirmation, you will lose. I'm talking from experience. That's another confirmation. There was fair value gap. You can see I was in huge loss around this point. I was even considering this trade, because I'm not perfect. I make mistakes also. And if you look carefully, I was waiting for price to get to my 5 confirmation buyer so I can add more position. And if you look carefully, you can see that there was multiple retests around that point here. Multiple retests. So that is showing that that zone is like a strong zone that price has been back, and it can't seem to break past it. So that's a good sign. And if you go to my 1 minute time frame, I was expecting something like that to happen, but you all know something like that doesn't happen all the time. So I need to get more confirmation for me to trust this entry. Like if you don't trust your entry, you can just easily get out. If you don't get enough confirmation, just get out and look for another trade. But if you look at the 1 week time frame, you can see there was a supply zone there and a break of structure. It's crazy. Whenever you see something like this, a huge broker, like a huge supply zone with break of structure, you want to know that price is going to make it run below. Like that's just how it's gonna be. It's gonna make you run before. And if you see that, if you look at my entry, you can see it was aligned to that breaker block around that point there. 50% of it, if you look carefully, it was aligned to 50% of it. So I was expecting sales at the tip, and I was seeing small profit, but now price can reverse at any time. Like it will just show that it is dropping, and then before you know it, to just spike up, liquidate, you tear your stop loss, and then you'll be shocked that, dude, I thought this stuff was going to drop. So I was adjusting my stuff, and dude, check out that candle, look at this spike here. So I was expecting price to like target that point, because whenever price gets to a support zone, it will just bounce off it. And dude, before you know it, price started dropping. It was almost bouncing at that point. I just had to close very fast, because it was going to spike up if you don't close very fast. And I forgot to send this signal to the team because I was recording this video, but I made them know that I was expecting sales. And then another setup came after dropping XEU gold setup. I told them to buy GBP. This was me telling them to buy GBP, and I was already in one position there. You can see price was spiking up aggressively, and I'll be explaining why I bought around this point. But things went south, even if it seems as if it was going well around this point here. So I told them to, like, after buying GBP to, that we are going, I wanted to tell them to buy to sell, because I was still expecting sales. That price is going to target some point and then sell, because news is dropping around 4 p.m. So this is me sending it to the team after telling them to buy GBP, and you can see I was still in huge profit, but guy, something happened later on. And then if you look carefully, you can see that price got to that supply zone there, and I was expecting some form of like resistance, like price going to drop. This is me bringing out my this thing. If you look carefully, you can see the reason I bought around this point is because price was at a demand zone there. This was before 4 p.m. I was just planning to get in and out. But if you look carefully, you can see that zone was liquidated here. It was liquidated there. I ignored this feedback because there was another demand zone below this one. You can see if you mark it on 15 minutes, you can see that price liquidated it at the tip. It was something we call liquidity grab, when price push price to liquidate your stop loss and then goes to your direction. And at this moment in time, I was expecting price to pull back to that zone there, 50% of that zone, because price was moving somehow. Like I normally read the candles, see price is rejecting. I know that something is going to happen, because this is before the news drop. And if you look carefully, there was even a demand zone video. I was expecting price to like come back to that point and then like respect it. And I wanted to close in profit around this point because there was a break of structure. I was expecting price to still go up, but I know price was going to like sell before it target that point, like sell, come back to below. Like the news, whenever news drops, something like that always happen, and then spike up. So that was what I was expecting, and I was expecting to target that point because I just like to like just target get in and get out, use the leverage I have, like open more position and then buy again, something like that. That's the best way to trade around this January, February, and March because there's a lot of consolidation going on. So I told the team to lock their profit. I locked my profits, and then when price got back to my entry, I entered again. I told them to re-enter, and then that was when I stacked at this trade. I was a huge loss. You can see me losing almost $5 on this trade here, but the price respected. Of course, it did. You can see price spiked up. It might not be far, like this is literally 1 to 2 hour, but you will see how we will get to that $23,000. So at this point in time, I told them that I've gotten to $40. I'm closing now. You can choose to close or swing. I always try and embrace swinging because a lot of people that are still not going to close at the end of the day. So after sending this to the group, I went to close my position around this point there because I want to leverage on the next move, so I need to open bigger lot size. So I closed at this point there, moved to the next trade and started buying. Like this was when everything started to click. Like guy, it started to click around this point. Like I tried to buy, it was not picking up. I tried to buy again, it was not picking up. So I just gave up. And why did I buy at this point? Because this was a huge lot size to enter on 30 something dollars account. This in less than 10 pips, my account is gone. One, because I was expecting price to liquidate that liquidity point around that point there, and price was, as you can see, rejecting from me demand zone here, which was at 50% also. But if you look carefully, you can see the red candle was starting to form. You can see, like, it's crazy. The red candle is already starting to form, like $15, $17, $14 in lows. Like, dude, this is when you start risking more, because for you to get to 23k, guy, it's not this small lot that is going to give you that kind of profit. You need to compound. And if we go to 4 hour time frame, you can see something crazy was happening on H4. You can see that there was a fair value up here, and also there was an imbalance at that point here. So I was expecting price to like magnet to that point here, and like price should just drag this stuff to the like shoot up to fill in those imbalance there. And you can see I was in $1 profit, but anything can happen from my experience. Price can be going up and then boom, when I lost, all accounts blown. And then I saw a demand zone aligning with that my entry, like at the tip on my weekly time frame, which is break of structure, which is crazy. Like everything just seemed to align together perfectly. That's why I had to enter with huge lot size, because I know that small lot size would not get you a Lamborghini Machi. So if you look at the monthly too, you can see price was also around a breaker block, the large breaker block there. So this is literally top down analysis. I went to lower time frame on 1 day time frame, and if you look carefully, you can see another demand zone there. This is literally price aligning together on all time frame, and I was in $10 profit, but it is nothing at the end of the day. Boom, I forget to hit record because I was trying to tell my this thing, the group, to close and do those kind of stuff. So I was posting the group, but on the next trade you can see I was in $200 here. I started to risk aggressively on the next trade. Like I entered with the total of 2 lot size here, and gang, you can see the loss. This is reality of trading, dude, guy. So I was buying, like, see guy, this huge lot size is what makes you profitable. I bought, I risked it, and finally you can see I smashed $1,000 all from $3. It's crazy. and then I spotted a sell around that point there. I entered two lot size 5 positions. This was literally crazy. Like this was like you can see the red that is going on. Well, why did I take such huge risk around this point? One, because of that resistance zone there. Although it might not, price might have not kissed it, but it is still a resistance zone. And if you look at that point, the price kissed that point there, but that's not really enough confirmation for me to enter huge lot size around that point there. Why? Again, is because I was expecting price to target that low there. I was in $1,000, as you can see. I was expecting price to target that low there, which is also not enough confirmation for me to sell around this point here. That is why I had to add more confirmation, because if you go to H4 time frame, you can see the space around that point there. There was even a fair value gap around that point there. So I was checking it out. I was like, price is going to magnet to this point, because anytime I use fair value gap, I trade fair value gap, price tend to move towards that direction to fill in those fair value gap. And if you look, you can see there was a resistance there also. You can see a resistance. We can even see it is a breaker block because of that demand zone that turned to a supply zone there. You can see price ejected perfectly at that point. You can see the tip and then started dropping aggressively, and then boom, I was in $3K profit. I closed very fast because I'm trying to get it back. So I'm at $5K. Then I moved to the next trade on gold. I started buying 5 lot size, increase the lot size. You need to increase. You can see that price was even at the moment at the tip of buying. It's already buying very at like it's already going up. Why? I will explain. You can see that red candle is already forming. So don't get too happy that you're gonna be doing this thing. You want to remove all expectations. Like if price is buying, just look at it that you have lost that trade. Why I bought at that point is because of, you can see that's a breaker block. You can see it's back at loss, back at profit. That's how trading is. Price was at the tip of that breaker block there. I was expecting price to like spike up. I see price went up, come down, and then expecting price to still go up again. And my first target was around that point, because I know that if price eventually goes up, I'm going to encounter some form of resistance around that supply zone there, and that other supply zone there at the top there. So that will be like TP1, TP2. So you know what you are doing. You don't want to just go and be targeting the moon. You need to just get in and get out. Repeat, get in and get out. And if you look carefully, you can see price was around that my demand zone there, that mini demand zone. It's not even a mini demand zone, that's a 1 day demand zone. It is much more stronger than you can ever imagine. And also there was a breaker block there on the weekly. So I was expecting buys to that my TP1 around that point there. And if you look carefully, you can see price was already buying.
1 hour later.
You know if you chop my money, cause I don't care, cause I get am plenty. So you can see that price was already selling around that point there, and I start hitting it with 10 lots. You see I started 2, then 5, then 10. As you increase, then 30. You can see 110, 230. And why did I sell around this point? This trade was at sniper entry, and I'll be explaining why I sold around this point there. You can see, one, there was a fair value gap. Fair value gaps are very strong. So whenever price is around those zones, price tends to drop. And that's just one. If you look carefully again, if on the daily, you can see price was still at the range of that this resistance zone here. So it was bound to drop at the end of the day. And even on the weekly, you can see I was still expecting further drops as I was selling. And then if you look at the 30-minute time frame for your sniper entry, you need to make your stop loss as tiny as possible. You can see there was a breaker block around that point there. I was expecting price to not go higher than that point, so I was adjusting my stuff. I was adjusting my HTF zone. And if you look at the 15-minute time frame, you can see that that's our target that price recently smashed. So I'm selling from that target there, and you can see that it was already dropping. You can see, if you look at the tip there, it is already dropping from that point here. Like price, that's why you need to close early. When price gets to your zone, like you close early and move to the next zone, because if you don't close early, you can just like lose all your profit. So that's why I sold around this point here. And again, there's still even more confirmation. I wanted to set my stop loss around that point, but dude, I saw the loss and I make a lot of mistake. Like my calculation, most times I calculate my normal PS with the way I calculate gold, not knowing that gold will take times two of this thing. So you can see things was calming down, but I got to set my stop loss very fast because gold is a kind of crazy pair. So I copied everything. I haven't set it around this time yet. I was still verifying the number. So you can see I was already in profit. That's the thing about gold. Gold can give you quick profit, and also you can take your profit in a jiffy. So I copied to set my stop loss, then paste it around this point there. Went to the other one, paste it around that point there, because dude, you don't want to lose this kind of money. You just want to, like, if I lose it in like 5 trades, it wouldn't affect me. But when I went to 5 minute time frame, is it 5 minutes, 1 minute time frame, I saw that there are a lot of demands in there, and those kind of stuff are going to affect my entry. So I decided to close very fast because I was satisfied with this profit, and I didn't even trust this entry to like swing to that point there. All sent to the group. So if you got value from this video and you want to get signals, link is in the description. If you want to learn how to trade like I do, like without what I gatekeep, link is in the description. And join my free Telegram for free educational content. And I'll see you guys in my next video. Like and subscribe.